The sun hung low over the dusty street of a small town in rural Africa, casting long shadow across cracked pavement and makeshift stall.
The air smells of roasted maize and diesel, a familiar blend for anyone who has ever walked these roads. It is late afternoon, and the town's only bus a rickety, faded thing that creaks with every turn, rumbles through the narrow streets, picking up passengers heading to the next village or the city beyond. Inside, the air is thick with the chatter of vendors, the laughter of children,
and the hum of life.
But for a moment,
everything came when two voices rise above the noise, pure and daunting, like a breeze cutting through the heat.
They are twins, a boy and a girl, no older than 12. Their faces smudged with dirt, but their eyes bright with something unyielding. Their names are Eli and Amara, though the passengers do not know that yet. They stand near the front of the bus, clutching a battered guitar that looks like it has been through more journeys than they have.
Eli strum a simple corps.
And Amara's voice joins in. Soft at first, then soaring. It is a song about home, not the kind with walls and a roof.
Bu the kind you carry in your heart, the kind you hash for when the world feel too big.
The passengers, hardened by their own struggles,
pause.
A woman with a basket of mangoes stops counting her coins. A young man in a worn suit looks up from his phone. Even the driver, grizzled and usually grumbling, glances in the rearview mirror. Eli and Amara sing with a rawness that makes your chest tighten. It is not just their voices, though those are beautiful, clear, and achingly innocent. It is the way they seem to pour every piece of themselves into the melody. They are not performing for coins, though a few passengers toss crumpled bills into the small tin cup at their feet. They are singing because it is what keeps them going, what stitches together the frayed edges of their lives. They are orphans, or so the town believes, left to fend for themselves after their mother died years ago and their father, well, no one talks about him. The story goes that he abandoned them when they were barely old enough to walk,
chasing dream of wealth in the city.
That is what the neighbors whisper. Anyway, when they see Eli and Amara sleeping in the alley behind the market, their only shelter a tattered tarp. But today, something feels different. The bus is fuller than usual, the air heavier with an unspoken tension.
At the back, half hidden in the shadow of a torn seat,
sits a man. He is older, maybe in his late 40s. His face weathered but not unkind. His clothes are simple but clean, a stark contrast to the patched-up rags Eli and Amara wear. He has been on the bus for a while, unnoticed, his eyes fixed on the twins as they sing. His hands, rough from years of labor,
grip the edge of the seat.
And then, as Amara hits a high note,
a single tear rolls down his cheek.
It is quick, almost invisible, but it is there. No one else notices. The other passengers are too caught up in the song, in their own thoughts, in the rhythm of the bus's sway. But that tear, it is the first crack in a story that has been buried for years. Eli and Amara do not see him. They are lost in their music, their voices weaving together like they have done 100 times before. They have sung on this bus route for years, ever since they were old enough to climb aboard without someone shooing them away. It is their stage, their sanctuary, the one place where they are not just street kids but artists.
Dreamer, kids with something to give.
The passengers do not know their story. Not really. They see the twins' bare feet, their too small clothes, and they assume they know enough. Poor kids, they think. Brave, maybe, but doomed. Some toss coins out of pity, others, out of awe. But none of them know the weight these kids carry, the questions that keep them awake at night. Why did their father leave? Did he ever love them? Does he even know they are still alive? The man at the back of the bus knows more than he lets on. His name is Samuel, though the twins would not recognize it if they heard it. To them, their father is a ghost, a name their mother whispered with equal parts love and pain before she passed. Samuel's life has not been what he planned. He left the village a decade ago, not out of cruelty but desperation.
The city promised work,
money, a way to pull his family out of the poverty that clung to them like dust. He left Eli and Amara with their grandmother, promising to return once he would made enough to give them a better life. But the city was not kind. Jobs were scarce, debts piled up, and shame kept him away. He told himself he would come back when he had something to show for it, when he could look his children in the eye without feeling like a failure. Years passed, and the distance grew not just in miles but in the stories he told himself to justify staying away. Now, here he is, on this bus, watching his children sing. He did not plan to be here. He was just passing through, visiting the village to settle an old debt. But when he saw them step onto the bus, he froze. They were unmistakable: Amara with her mother's eyes, Eli with his stubborn jaw. Samuel's heart pounded as they began to sing, their voices cutting through the years of silence between them. He wants to stand, to call out, to pull them into his arms and beg for forgiveness. But he does not. Not yet. The weight of his choices, the years of absence, the lies he has told himself, they pin him to his seat.
The song ends, and the passengers clap.
Some with tears in their eyes. Eli and Amara smile shyly, collecting the coins from their cup. They do not notice Samuel, do not see the way his hands tremble as he wipes his face. The bus lurches to a stop,
And the twins hop off,
their laughter trailing behind them as they disappear into the market crowd. Samuel stays seated, staring at the empty space where they stood. He is a stranger to them,
a shadow.
but he is their father, and that truth is a knot he can't untie. As the bus pulls away, Samuel makes a decision. He can't keep running from this. Not anymore. But how do you walk back into a life you left behind? How do you face two children who do not even know your name? The questions swirl in his mind, each one heavier than the last. He does not have answers. Not yet. But he knows one thing. He can't let them slip away again. The market is alive with noise, vendors shouting, children running, the clatter of pots and the hum of motorbikes.
Eli and Amara weave through the chaos,
Their tin cup jangling with the day's earnings. It is not much, but it is enough for a meal. Maybe some bread and a bit of stew from Mama Aisha, the kind woman who runs a stall at the edge of the market. She always slips them an extra piece of bread when no one's looking, her eyes soft with pity. Eli and Amara do not talk about it, but they know what that look means. It is the same one they get from strangers on the bus. The one that says, "Poor kids. But what can I do?" They find a quiet corner near an old baobab tree, its gnarled branches offering a sliver of shade. Eli counts the coins while Amara hums the melody they sang on the bus. It is a ritual, this moment of stillness after the rush of performing. They do not talk much about their lives, not the hunger that gnaws at them some nights, not the cold that seeps into their bones when it rains, not the father they barely remember. But the music, that is different. It is their language, their way of holding on to each other when the world feels like it is slipping away. "Do you think he is out there somewhere?" Amara asks suddenly, her voice soft.
She is staring at the horizon,
Where the sun is sinking into a haze of red and gold. Eli does not need to ask who she means. It is a question they have danced around for years, one that surfaces when they are too tired to keep it buried. "He is gone," Eli says, his voice flat. He is the practical one, the one who does not let hope get in the way of survival. If he cared, he would be here. Amara does not argue. She never does. But her eyes linger on the horizon a moment longer, as if she can will their father into existence. She has always been the dreamer, the one who believes in miracles, even when life gives them no reason to. Eli hates that part of her, but he loves it too. It is what keeps their songs alive, what makes strangers on a bus stop and listen. Across town, Samuel sits in a small guest house, his suitcase still unpacked. The room is bare, just a bed and a cracked mirror, but it is more than he is used to. The city was not kind to him, but it was not entirely cruel either. He is not rich, not by city standards, but he has built something, a small transport business, enough to keep him afloat. He could have come back years ago.
Coup de VE sans money, coup de VE return.
But every time he thought about it, the shame stopped him. What would he say? How could he explain leaving his children to fend for themselves? Their grandmother did her best, but she was old, frail, and when she passed, Eli and Amara were left alone. Samuel did not know until it was too late. By then, the guilt was a wall he could not climb. He pulls a photo from his wallet, creased and faded. It is of a younger him.
Holding two tiny babies.
Their mother smiling beside him. Her name was Lila, and she was the love of his life. When she died, something in Samuel broke. He told himself he was leaving to provide for the twins. But deep down, he knows he was running from the pain. Now, seeing them on that bus, hearing their voices, it is like Lila is speaking to him through them, demanding he make things right.
Samuel spends the evening walking the town.
Asking questions. He is careful, not wanting to draw attention. He learns that Eli and Amara are known here, not just as street kids but as something special. People talk about their singing.
How it stop you in your tracks.
How it makes you feel things you thought you had forgotten. But they also talk about their struggles, the nights they go hungry.
The way they stick together no matter what.
Samuel listens, each word a knife in his chest. He wants to find them, to talk to them, but he is terrified. What if they hate him? What if they do not believe he is their father? Worse, what if they do? That night, Eli and Amara sleep under their tarp, the stars above them bright and unyielding.
Amara dream of a man with kind eyes.
Singing to her, but the face is blurry, like a memory she can't quite grasp. Eli does not dream at all, he is too busy listening for footsteps. For anyone who might try to steal their coins or their guitar. They have learned to trust no one but each other. But something's shifting. The man on the bus, the one who cried they did not see him, but his presence lingers, like a note that has not faded. The next day, Samuel boards the same bus, hoping to see them again. He is not sure what he will do if he does. He has rehearsed 100 speeches in his head, but none feel right.
When the twins climb aboard.
His heart leaps. They are singing a different song today, one about loss and hope, and it is like they are singing directly to him. He watches them, memorizing every detail, the way Eli's fingers move on the guitar.
The way Amara's voice tremble on certaines notes.
He is so caught up that he does not notice the other passengers watching him, wondering why this stranger is so transfixed.
As the song ends, Eli's eyes meet Samuel's for a moment.
It is brief, accidental, but it is enough to make Samuel's breath catch. Does Eli recognize him? Does some part of him sense the truth?
The moment pass, and the twins step off the bus, disappearing into the crowd.
Samuel stays behind, his mind racing. He is running out of time. He can't keep watching from the shadows. But the fear of rejection, of ruining whatever fragile hope they have, keeps him rooted.
The days blur together for Eli and Amara.
Each one a repeat of the last singing, surviving, hoping for something better. But there is a new rhythm to their routine now, a subtle shift they can't quite name. It is in the way the market feels quieter.
The way Mivier.
They do not know it, but Samuel is closer than ever, watching, waiting, trying to find the courage to step into their lives. He has rented a room in the town for a week, telling himself it is temporary, just until he figures out what to do. He spends his days trailing them from a distance, learning their habits. They sing on the bus every afternoon, always the same route. They eat at Mama Aisha's stall when they can afford it.
They sleep under the baobab tree.
Their tarp carefully tucked around them. Samuel wants to approach them, but every time he gets close, his throat tightens. What if they do not want him? What if they are better off without him? One evening, he follows them to the market, keeping his distance. The twins are performing for a small crowd, their voices drawing people in like moths to a flame. Samuel stands at the edge,
half hidden behind a stall.
He is not the only one watching. A man named Kofi, a local shopkeeper, has noticed the twins' talent too.
Kofi is not a bad man.
But he is practical. He sees potential in Eli and Amara, not just as singers but as a way to make money. He has been talking to a promoter from the city, someone who could turn the twins into stars. But Kofi's not thinking about their well-being. Not really. He is thinking about profit. Kofi approaches the twins after their performance, offering them a deal, a chance to record their music, to get off the streets. Eli is skeptical, his instincts sharp from years of fending for himself. Amara, though, is intrigued. She has always dreamed of more, of a life where they do not have to count coins to eat. Kofi's words are smooth, promising a future they have never dared imagine. But there is something in his eyes that makes Eli uneasy, a hunger that has nothing to do with kindness.
Samuel overhears the conversation.
And it is like a jolt. He knows men like Kofi, men who see talent and think only of what it can do for them. He has seen it in the city, where dreams are bought and sold like cheap goods. He can't let that happen to his children. But how can he stop it? He is a stranger to them.
Aman wise n'auraigt tout interférer.
The thought of losing them again, this time to someone else's greed, pushes him to act. That night, Samuel waits until the market is quiet, then approaches Mama Aisha's stall. She is closing up, her hands moving with the efficiency of someone who has done this 1,000 times. Samuel hesitates, then introduces himself not as the twins' father, but as someone who has seen their talent. He asks about them, careful not to reveal too much. Mama Aisha is guarded at first, but she softens when she sees the sincerity in his eyes. She tells him what she knows: their mother's death, their grandmother's passing, the way they have survived on their own. She does not know about their father, only the rumors that he left them behind. Samuel's heart aches as he listens. He wants to tell her the truth.
Tout conf everything.
But the words won't come. Instead, he asks how he can help them. Mama Aisha studies him.
Her eyes sharp.
Those kids do not need pity, she says. They need someone who'll fight for them. Her words hit him like a punch. He thanks her and walks away, the weight of his choices heavier than ever.
The next day, Samuel boards the bus again.
This time, he is determined to speak to them. But when the twins climb aboard,
something is different.
They are quieter, their usual spark dimmed. Eli's jaw is tight, and Amara's eyes are red, like she has been crying. They sing, but the song feels heavier, laced with something unspoken.
Samuel is tense, his heart breaking.
He does not know what is wrong, but he can feel it. Their world is shifting, and he is not sure he can stop it. As the bus reaches its stop, Samuel makes a decision. He follows them off, keeping his distance. They head to the baobab tree, their usual spot. But before they reach it, Kofi appears, his smile too wide, his words too smooth. He has brought the promoter, a slick man in a city suit, who is already talking about contracts and tours. Eli argues, his voice sharp, but Amara's torn.
She want to believe in the dream.
Even if it feels too good to be true. Samuel watches, his hands clenched.
He can't stay silent anymore.
He steps forward, his voice shaking but firm.
Eli. Amara. The twins turn.
Startled. They do not know this man, do not recognize his face. But there is something in his eyes, something that makes Amara's breath catch. You do not have to do this, Samuel says. You do not need them. You are enough, the promoter laughs, dismissing him as a meddler. Kofi steps closer, his tone threatening. But Samuel does not back down. He looks at his children, his voice breaking. I know I do not have the right to say this. But I am your father. The words hang in the air.
Heavy and impossible.
Eli and Amara stare at Samuel, their faces a mix of shock and disbelief. The promoter snorts, thinking it is a ploy. But Kofi's eyes narrow.
Sensing something real.
The market crowd has thinned.
Leaving just the four of them under the baobab tree. The star above casting a faint glow.
Eli steps forward, his fists clenched. You are lying, he says, his voice low and dangerous.
Our father is gone.
He left us. Amara does not speak. She is frozen, her eyes locked on Samuel's. There is something familiar in his face, something she can't place but can't ignore. She has always believed in miracles.
In the impossible.
But this
is too much. Samuel take a step closer.
His hands raised, palms open. I am not lying, he says.
I am Samuel.
Your mother was Lila.
He left when you were babies.
And I have regretted it every day since. His voice cracks, and he does not try to hide it. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I would come back with enough to give you a better life. But I was wrong. I was a coward. Eli shakes his head, his anger a shield. You expect us to believe you. After all this time, you do not get to just show up and play father. His words are sharp, but there is a tremor in them, a crack in his armor. Amara reaches for his hand, squeezing it, but her eyes do not leave Samuel. The promoter interrupts, his voice impatient. This is ridiculous.
Keys, là tu es talk business.
This man's just trying to scam you. But Kofi's watching Samuel closely, sensing there is more to this. He is not sure what, but he knows an opportunity when he sees one. Let us hear him out, he says, his tone calculating. If he is your father, maybe he has got something to offer. Samuel ignores them, his focus on the twins. He pulls the faded photo from his wallet and holds it out. This was us, he says.
You, me, your mother.
I have carried it all these years. Amara takes it, her hands trembling. The photo is old, the edges worn, but there is no mistaking it two babies.
A smiling woman, and a younger Samuel.
His face full of hope. Eli glances at it, then looks away, his jaw tight. Why now? Amara asks, her voice barely above a whisper. Why did you come back?
Samuel tac a dit Brice.
I did not plan to. I was passing through, settling a debt. But then I saw you on the bus.
Heard you sing.
It was like hearing your mother again. I could not walk away. Not this time, the promoter scoffs. But Kofi's eyes gleam. He sees a story here, one that could draw crowds.
C'est le record.
This is good, he says.
A famille réunion. A rag tout riche-tel.
We can work with this. Eli glares at him, his patience gone. This is not your story. He snaps. This is ours. For the first time, Samuel smiles a small, sad smile. He is right, he says.
This is about you.
I do not expect forgiveness. I do not deserve it. But I want to help you. Not because of some contract or money, but because you are my children.
Amara is crying now, silent tears streaming down her face.
She has wanted this moment her whole life, even when she did not admit it. But it is not the fairy tale she imagined. It is messy, painful, real. Eli's still angry, but his grip on Amara's hand softens. He has always protected her, but he can't protect her from this. The promoter, sensing he is losing control, tries to push.
Keys, think about your future.
You do not need this guy dragging you down. But Amara shakes her head. We have been on our own, she says. We have made it this far without you or him. We will decide what happens next. Samuel nods, respecting her strength. I will be here, he says.
If you want me to stay.
I will stay.
If you want me to go.
I will go. But I will never stop being your father. The twins do not answer. Not yet. They walk away. Hand in hand, the photo still in Amara's grip. Kofi and the promoter argue behind them, their voices fading into the night. Samuel watches them go, his heart heavy but hopeful. He is not sure what comes next, but for the first time in years, he feels like he is where he is supposed to be. Days pass, and the twins wrestle with their emotions. Eli's anger battles with his curiosity. Amara's hope battles with her fear. They keep singing, but their songs are different now, tinged with a new kind of longing. One evening, they return to the baobab tree and find Samuel waiting. He does not push, does not plead. He just sits with them, listening as they talk about their lives, their mother, their music. Slowly, cautiously, they begin to rebuild what was lost. The story does not end with a perfect reunion. There is too much pain for that. But there is a beginning, a fragile, hopeful one.
Eli and Amara keep singing.
Their voices carrying them forward. And Samuel, for the first time, sings with them, his voice rough but full of love. The music becomes their bridge.
A way to heal the wound of the past.
And somewhere in the notes they share, they find the truth. Family is not just a bond, it is a choice. One they are all learning to make.